A very good day to you all. Welcome to a literature lesson. Today you are going to have a session on appreciation of English literary texts. This session is organized by the Provincial Department of Education, Northern Province, for the children who are awaiting to sit for the O-level exams. Children, you are at your final stage. You are in your third term. You are expecting your O-level exams very soon. So, I think this lesson will be very useful for you to achieve your goals. Today, I have selected a poetry from your anthology, and there we will discuss the themes, techniques, and we'll have some appreciation of the poetry. In the sense, literature, when it comes to literature, it mirrors the society. Literature has to be internalized, assimilated, and experienced by each and everybody. So it is mingled with our life. So come on, children, let's enjoy a poem from your anthology.
Fear is one of the poems of English literature, appreciation of English literature. It comes under the theme life. The author of the poem is Gabriel Mistral, and it is translated into English by Doris Dana. When we hear the title, we think of something horrific and terrific. Fear is an emotion. It is an unpleasant emotion which is created due to some painful, dangerous instances. We may have fear for ghosts, war, God, or even we have exam fear as well. What kind of fear is this? Let's see. It is a fear. It could be more than an anxiety. It is far beyond fear, and it could be called as anxiety. It is the fear and anxiety of a mother about her daughter and her future. The mothers have great expectations about their kids. Though it is about a mother and kid, it is totally, we can assume it for the entire parents and their anxiety towards their children. Yes, in the earth, no mother in the earth could be exceptional from this kind of anxiety. They are always worried and highly concerned about your education, your career, safety, relationship with your friends, your diet, and each and every aspect of the child is taken care by its mother. Mothers always worry about the future of the kids. Each and every mother has this kind of fear, worries, hope, and tension about what her child or children would become. They are always thinking about their children, and they are always worried how my child is going to study, what is going to be her results, or which stream he or she has to select for the A-levels, and what will she be, and where will she work, and about the marriage, bridegroom. They continue to worry until their end. That is mother. Some mothers, not some, most of the mothers have very high hopes. They are very often related to the material success. What is material success? It is related to money. How we can earn money? Why are we going to school? Why are we studying? At the end, it is for money. It is for materialistic purpose. So mothers are highly concerned about the material success of their children. They want you to be successful in your education. When from grade 5 scholarship, O level up to A level, they always think about your education. They want you to get high results at your exams. After the exams, what happens? They think about your higher studies. You want, whether you are going to the university or you are going to continue your higher studies at outside, abroad or something like that. They are always concerned about the education, and they chase you to tuitions, classes, private classes, everywhere for the success of education. At the end of education, what happens? You have to wait for an employment, suitable employment for your education level. So that is another anxiety of a mother. She thinks about your employment. My child should get a great employment with suits her studies, something like that. They hope for the best employment opportunity. After employment, what happens? It is about money making. Why do we want to work? Why do we want a career? To make money, right? So they have worries about your money making, whether the salary that you gain is enough or something like that. They worry. They want you to make lots of money. And afterwards, after making money, it goes to gaining status. It's about status. Mothers usually think that they want to place their children in a higher position than themselves, right? If a mother is a teacher, she doesn't want her child to be a teacher. She expects something far beyond teaching profession. So that is the mentality of mothers. Most of the mothers, they are modern mothers. You would have experienced such things in your life. But only some think in terms of happiness, freedom, and they want to give priority to the child's desire. That is a few number of mothers are like that. They are always think about the happiness of their children. They want to give you freedom, something like that. But it is a rare kind of mother, right? Although this means much less in material terms. These mothers are not concerned about material terms, right? They want, if they want to give you happiness, if they want to give you freedom, they don't think about the material success and your achievements in your education, right? They always think about you, right? Just think about your grade 5 scholarship. Go back to your flashback. How now? I'm quite sure everybody of you were deprived of your freedom and happiness. You were chased by your parents to the tuitions. They printed so many exam papers for you. They dropped you at the tuition and they took you. They bought you something to eat in between. So why? Because they wanted you to pass the scholarship. It is because to get admission in high schools, and sometimes it may be to get the scholarship fund. So you were totally deprived of your freedom. At that time, what did you like to do? You wanted to play with your colleagues, you wanted to roam around, you wanted to catch butterflies, you wanted to run along the fields and everywhere, but you were not allowed because your mothers wanted you to be successful in your education. Right? Today, we are going to see an exceptional mother of today in this poem. Let's see. It is a poem, Fear. It comes under the theme Life in Your Anthology. It is written by Gabrielle Mizrahi. The poetess' real name was Lucilla Godoy Alcayoga. Gabriel Mistral was a pseudonym. What is pseudonym? It is the pen name which writers use when they write their articles. Here, Gabriel Mistral is the pen name of Lucilla Godoy Alcayoga. She was a Chilean poet. She is from Chile. She was a Chilean poet, diplomat, educator, and feminist. And she was the first Latin American poet to win the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1946. For her writing, she won Nobel Prize for Literature. Mistral was born on 7th April 1889 and she died on 10th January 1957 at the age of 67. In her writings, she had some central themes in her poems that are nature, betrayal, love, mother's love, sorrow and recovery, and travel. Here, our poem is going to be on mother's love, as I have already told you. This is the introduction to the poet. Now, let's read the entire poem Fear. I don't want them to turn my little girl into a swallow. She would fly far away into the sky and never fly again to my straw bed, or she would nest in the eaves where I could not comb her hair. I don't want them to turn my little girl into a swallow. I don't want them to make my little girl a princess in tiny golden slippers. How could she play on the meadow? And when night came, no longer would she sleep at my side. I don't want them to make my little girl a princess. And even less do I want them one day to make a queen. They would put her on a throne where I could not go to see her. And when night time came, I could never rock her. I don't want them to make my little girl a queen. See, children, how the mother is anxious. Look at the anxiety of a mother. She doesn't want others, them. Who is the narrator? Who is I? It is the poetess. She doesn't want them to turn her little daughter as a swallow, and she doesn't want them to make her little daughter as a princess, and she doesn't want them to make her little daughter as a queen. Who is that them? Who are mentioned as them here? Do you have any idea? Yes, it is definitely the society. The society is a backing pressure that defines our goals and determination. So, this mother doesn't want a child to get influenced by the society, by these them. When it comes to the first stanza, the mother is talking about a swallow. What is a swallow? Let's see. It is a wonderful poem with lots of visual imagery. Then once again, I'm going to tell you about the first stanza. I don't want them to turn my little girl into a swallow. She would fly far away into the sky and never fly again to my straw bed, or she would nest in the eaves where I could not comb her hair. So there are some new words for you: a swallow, a strawbed, and eaves. What is a swallow? Swallow is a migratory bird. You know, what does migratory bird do? It flies in search of better climate. So the mother is comparing the swallow with a daughter. It is a metaphor used by the mother, and she doesn't want her little daughter to be a swallow. She doesn't want her little daughter to fly far away from her in the sky in search of opportunity. She doesn't want her to be selfish. She doesn't want her to be opportunistic. So she, because of the social pressure, some daughters, not only daughters, some children, they may get the chance to migrate. They migrate from place to place for higher education, for good jobs. It is nowadays, it is very frequent in our country. People migrate. Likewise, children also migrate for different purposes, leaving their parents in their motherland. So the mother doesn't want. There may be so many purposes due to education, because of marriage arrangements, and in search of career, they go abroad. They go far away from the parents. Here, this mother doesn't want the child to go away. Think about your mothers. What do they do? Will they resist you from going abroad for higher education, or for the purpose of marriage, or some other reasons? But this mother doesn't like her daughter to be apart from her daughter. She would fly away into the sky. What will the daughter do if she is apart from the mother? She flies away in the sky. Sky, it is very broad. It is full of opportunity. It is vast. The freedom, she will get limitless freedom in the sky. So she may get exposed to some danger. The mother doesn't like her to fly alone in the sky. And if once she migrates, what happens? And never fly again to the straw bed. If she migrates, if the daughter or any child, maybe a son or some children, if they migrate, what happens? Will they come back? No, they never fly again to my straw bed. What is the straw bed? Here you can see the picture of a straw bed. Here it is the straw bed. Right? Straw is a leaf, dried leaf from paddy or corn. So the mother, think about the economic condition of the mother. She doesn't have a sponge spring bed. She has a straw bed. Is she rich? No, she is not rich. Is she contented? Yes, she is contented and satisfied with her life. It denotes the rural life with nature, and it is not a rich life. It is not a well-off life, but the mother is satisfied with the warmth that is produced by this straw bed. Okay, so, and she fears that if the daughter gets exposed to the luxury of life, she will never come back to her. She will never come back to feel the warmth of mother's love. In the rural area, it is very evident. Nowadays, what happens when people come abroad, come to motherland from abroad? What do? They can't put their feet on the floor without slippers. They want mineral water. They say the ordinary water is not good for our health, and they want AC. So imagine if a child migrates and comes back, what happens? Can she be the daughter of this poor mother of which leads her life in the rural area? No. So the mother's anxiety, she can't be with her. Or she would nest in the eaves. Here, eaves is also a new word for you. What is that eaves? It is the overhanging of the roof. It is the outer part which is protruded, which protrudes out from the roof, which is dangerous. You can see the eaves here. Here there is a nest of bird. Bird has nested here. It is dangerous and risky. Once the daughter flies away, she will never come back. If she even comes back, she won't feel the love of the mother. Where I could not comb her hair. If she flies away or if she nests in the eaves, the mother, she is beyond detection. She cannot be reached by the mother. Where I could not comb her hair. Combing hair of a daughter is an ordinary thing that the mothers do every day. When you go to school, they comb your hair, right, and tie the ribbon. Here, though it is a very simple activity, mother is extremely missing this opportunity to comb the hair, to be in her intimacy with the daughter, her love with the daughter. This is the way that mothers show their love. Through small things, they show their love towards the children. So, the mother is highly worried. Once the child goes away, she will never come back to feel the warmth of mother's love. She doesn't want to come back to lead a simple life in the village. Even she comes, she will be definitely apart from the mother. This is the anxiety, first anxiety of the mother. Because of the social pressure, the children may seek some opportunity outside. Here the mother doesn't want the society to put pressure on her daughter. Let's see the first stanza, explanation of first stanza in a brief manner. The first stanza alludes the anxiety of the mother that the forces in the society like peer group, teachers, relatives, media, and the society would make a daughter as an agile bird that flies swiftly in the sky in search of its ambition with selfishness and opportunism. So the mother entirely hates that. But this modest mother wants a daughter to be with her and lead a very simple rural life, not a lavish, well-off life. And she further doesn't want to be deprived of her intimacy and togetherness with her daughter. She wants to shower her gentle love on her daughter by combing her hair. So, see how intimate the relationship of a mother with the children. Nowadays, I'll come to it later, and her mother, she has limitless love for her child. That is evident. She can't lead a life without, she can't even imagine a life without a child. That is evident in this paragraph, in this stanza, sorry. Right. Now, let's move on to the second stanza. Here also, I don't want them to turn my little girl into a swallow. It is repeated. Earlier also we had this line and it is repeated in the second stanza as well. I don't want them to make my little girl a princess. Earlier it was a swallow and now it was a princess. I don't want them to make my little girl a princess. In tiny golden slippers, how could she play on the meadow? And when night came, no longer would she sleep at my side. Okay, now the mother doesn't want her daughter to be turned into a princess. What is princess? Princess is a person or daughter of a king. She can enjoy princess. A life of a princess is very lavish, very luxurious, and she can enjoy well of a life, and she can do whatever she wants. She is showered with jewelry, accessories. You here you can see the picture of Princess Kate Middleton, and you see how she dresses and how her attire looks like, and the jewel, though she wears very simple pieces of jewelry, it must be really costly. So she enjoys the lavish, luxurious life. Can any mother hates this kind of lifestyle? Can our mothers hate this kind of lifestyle? But this mother doesn't want her daughter to be a princess, because when she becomes princess, what happens to her? She will she will be ruled, and there will be dominance. She must have to follow some protocols, so that her life is restricted, and her freedom will be deprived. So that the mother doesn't want to make her daughter as a princess. She doesn't want the society to put pressure on her to go in search of a life like a princess, a rich, luxurious life. And there is another anxiety of a mother in tiny golden slippers that indicates the luxuries of life that the princess enjoy. How could she play on the meadow? What is that meadow? You can see the picture of a meadow here. It is a grassland, a green grassland with nature, unspoilt beauty of nature. So the mother is worried. If her daughter is turned to be a princess, how could she play on the meadow? If she is a princess, she has to wear slippers. So the interaction with the nature will be definitely destroyed by wearing gold high heel slippers. So how could she play? She won't have any much time to play. That is the desire of the young children, to play, but she can't play and she can't roam around the meadows, right? So the mother doesn't want her daughter to wear very expensive slippers. And when night came, no longer would she sleep at my side. There is another problem. In the earlier stanza, we saw she was bothered about combing her hair. If she goes away, she can't comb her hair. And here she has another problem. If she becomes a princess, she can't share the straw bed with the mother. She won't sleep by the side of the mother. She will never be allowed to do that. So, and when night came, no longer would she sleep at my side. So mother fears that she would be deprived of the accompaniment, of the intimacy and togetherness of the child if she is turned into a princess. So mother hates this kind of life. Think about your mother. What will she do if you get a chance to lead a luxurious life? What will she do? Will she deny that? But this mother doesn't want a daughter to lead a false life. She doesn't want a daughter to get trapped in some unrealistic, unachievable goals. She wants her to be on her own foot without wearing slippers, without being dependent on others. This is the anxiety of the mother. She wants her to be on her own foot. So, which mother is better? Let's see. In this stanza, there is a brief introduction, a brief summary to this stanza. Here, the mother wants her daughter to be in touch with the nature. She wants her daughter to have her feet in the meadows, to be in touch with the nature, to be herself, to stand on her own feet. She wants her to be herself. She stands in her own to stand in her own feet, to enjoy the simplicity of life. This mother wants a daughter to enjoy the simplicity, not the luxuries of life, but the simplicity of life, to be contented with a simple lifestyle. And she doesn't want her to be away from the life, from her life. She is accustomed to, she is used to the lifestyle in the rural area with the meadows with the mother. The mother doesn't want her daughter to be away from the life that she is used to, that she is familiar with. This is the brief summary of stanza 2.
Children, thank you for being with me up to this time. We have today now we have learnt about the poem Fear, introduction to the title, introduction to the writer Gabriela Mistral, and we have only discussed 2 stanzas of the poem, which consists of 3 stanzas due to the time limitation. I will sum it up now, and the 3rd stanza and other themes and techniques will be continued at the next session. Here today we have learnt the anxiety of a mother. She doesn't want the society to put pressure on a daughter to be a swallow, to fly away in search of her ambitions, to fly away from leaving her mother and fly away. So the mother hates that. And in the 2nd stanza, we have seen the mother doesn't want the society to give encouragement for her daughter to be a princess. If she becomes princess, she will be deprived of life with nature. She can't carry her own traditions. She can't be on her own foot. She has to follow all the restrictions, and she can't be free. So the mother doesn't want her daughter to be a princess. This is what we have studied up to this time in this session. Then 3rd stanza will be continued at the next session. Thank you.